Stracraft 2 Pro League, with Bel'Shir casting alongside with Supernova Maniac. Currently the score 1-0, with STX Seoul in the lead. Innovation recently defeating Hero, and now his teammate Taeja is going to come out to try and take his revenge.
Definitely Hero. It was a funky build, it just didn't work out for him, and Taeja being sent out a rematch against Innovation. Last time when they faced in Neoplanet S, Innovation made one small mistake in a battle, and that was enough for him to lose the entire game. Taeja saying, well, I won last time around, it's going to be easy again for me if you create another mistake like that.
Yeah, the thing with Taeja is, if he's on his game, if things go his way, he wins.
Definitely, but is it that day where everything goes toward his side? His opponent, Innovation, he made it through Code B convincingly, only going 4-1 in his group to make it out first. He does have a win today, and now he is facing Taeja from EGTL in the second set.
So there's the STX Seoul coach, no longer looking like he's sad and his cat died, looking like he won $1 million.
Not just yet. They haven't made it into the playoffs.
That's true. I'm pretty sure they're going to make it to the playoffs at this rate, though. With Innovation as their flagship player, it's going to happen. All right, guys, time for the second set. Innovation and Taeja, after we look at this map.
It will be played on this particular map. No process like that with the Void Race, but it's going to be a TvT.
Yes, indeed. And you know what? This map, there's a lot of ridges, a lot of potential for tank wars. That excites me between these two players. Taeja generally more of a bio tank player over a pure mech player as well. And you can kind of say the same for Innovation.
Yeah, Innovation, but sometimes Innovation likes to go for the mech play, and he's just a player that bounces back and forth. That is something that I like to see in StarCraft 2. You never know what your opponent's going to go for, bio or mech, and now you have to scout around to see what the opponent is going for. We might even see a really fast Hellbite drops from these players.
Fast Hellbite drops can certainly happen here. We saw Flash do them a lot against Innovation, but now it's time to go into the second set. For real, here we go. The second set will be played on Bel'Shir Vestige, spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the orange Terran, playing for Evil Geniuses, Team Liquid. His name is Taeja.
His opponent spawning as the blue Terran on the top left corner, playing for STX Seoul. His name is Innovation.
Taeja, of course, meaning a crown prince, I believe, in Korean. So I think that's a pretty cool nickname.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Innovation also went through a couple of name changes, but I think it was a really nice name change. Going from Bogus to Innovation, he started playing so much better in StarCraft 2 with the name change.
I agree, man. Basically, when Bogus died, Innovation was born from the ashes, and he was more powerful than Bogus ever was.
Now, in StarCraft 2 head-to-head record, Innovation is falling behind Taeja. Taeja leading 3-2, and the recent win for Taeja was back in April 22nd, with Taeja taking over Innovation.
That was actually a really good game, by the way, as well.
Fantastic game.
Yeah. Check out the VODs if you guys haven't. And if you want to check out the VODs, you just go to the SC2 Pro League channel, and you have to subscribe for them, but you get full access to all of the VODs, and you get everything in high quality. No ads for the entire season. It's just $5. Exactly. You know how much it is. I know how much it is. But, I mean, it's a good deal, guys. You should get on that.
Now, in 2013 season, Rain does lead everyone else, along with Innovation with 23 wins. And we got 4 players tied for third place with 22 wins. Their names are Roro, SOS, Hero, not the Team Liquid Hero, but CJ Hero, and Flash.
Well, I'm not surprised hearing those names. Those are the people that have consistently performed pretty darn well in Pro League.
Both players opening up the same way. Barracks first and then the gas.
Indeed they are. And looks like SCV is going to go ahead over here and scout. The Marine finishes and trying to almost trick his opponent and saying, hey, you can come in. Just kidding. Innovation snipes off that first SCV and doesn't really get any scouting information from that, but beyond the fact that no command center at the natural.
Oh yeah, both players not getting a command center, not getting a Reaper from the barracks. This indicates that both players, well, first of all, Taeja is going to go for the reactor. His opponent, Innovation, he's saving up to 100 gas. I expect him to put down a factory pretty soon.
Yeah, it looks like, well, we're going to see command center first.
He had the gas for it, but I guess he wanted to go for the command center first and then get the reactor.
Yeah.
So it's just the same build by both of these players. Innovation just got one more Marine than his opponent, so he wants to play a little bit more defensive by not going for the scouting. Remember, I don't think he sent any SCV down south.
No. All right, so just, you know, 3 Marines here from Innovation. That's all he needs at this point. Grabbing a factory afterwards as well. Taeja getting a factory of his own. And, yeah, pretty much identical builds for both players here.
So let's see what these players actually decide to do after they get the factory out. Usually, you know, a lot of the players go bio these days in TvT. Some players decide to stick to mech. But when you decide to go for mech, you need to do some nice harassments while you tech into it. Remember, last time when Innovation played against Taeja, Innovation was ahead for the most of the game with the Hellbat drops, Hellion attacks, Hellion run-bys, and that put him in a nice position.
All right, well, we do have that second gas finished from Innovation here. He went ahead and followed that up with a fast starport, and I believe that's what we are also seeing here from Taeja. Yes, there is the starport right there. Innovation, though, ahead by 2 SCVs. He did kill one of Taeja's earlier, though.
So right now, Innovation is building a tank.
Interesting. We haven't been seeing fast tanks here. Do you think we're going to see a timing attack here?
You might see a timing attack from him, but I think it's a little bit more defensive early on. So we're going to have to wait and see what he's going to go for. Remember, Innovation, he loves to go for the Hellbat drops. He loves to get those Hellions out to harass around the map, but it seems like going for the Viking, getting the second siege sync, getting the first siege sync out. He wants to play defensive early in the game, secure his natural expansion. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a really faster command center, and you know, he's still getting the Marines out, so it's kind of early to call if he's going to go for mech or bio at this point. Most likely bio tank.
Yeah, that's too early to call. Like. All right, so we have a one of the gases being taken from Taeja, finally grabbing that second one there. Both players securing their expansions as well at this point. Still only minor differences in the builds really between both players here. We're seeing Taeja getting that Tech Lab add-on on that factory. All right, there he is, getting that tank as well to match the production of his opponent. Seems like we're going to be seeing bio tank from both players. No deviations quite yet beyond that.
No deviations, no tech lab on the barracks, and no engineering bay for the upgrades.
Well, there is an engineering bay from Taeja.
Well, finally he puts it down, but Taeja, he's going to go for the drop. Innovation already has units in position. He did scout the starport beforehand, so he knows exactly what's up.
Taeja, he's got to get out of there, man. And, all right, he will be able to escape as long as he doesn't get too close to that Vikings.
This is not good. He needs to get out of there instead of trying to pressure his opponent. The 2 Vikings can wipe it out easily, and he does boost it out of there.
So going to get away. Not losing that medevac or the units inside, that would be a very bad thing for Taeja if that were to happen. Now, Innovation, he's just playing ultra defensive right now. Like you mentioned, you know, playing that more defensive style. But as I say that, he starts to move across the map with his tanks and those Marines.
So if Taeja is taking a 3rd command center behind this, but he is behind in the siege tank count, confirms that his opponent is moving out on the map, so now he needs to play super defensive.
And also the Vikings will be able to be used as high ground air spotters for those tanks as well. With the superior tank count, going to be hard to deal with this attack. Taeja will have defender's advantage here, so with that good siege positioning, he should be able to hold this just fine. And Innovation backing up, doesn't want to take the risk. Hellion, though, attacking the SCVs here in the natural of Innovation. Will he be able to get a few kills off here?
Yeah, well, let's see how many kills Hellion gets. I think it got 1.
Yeah, I got 1.
Actually, that's a lot for a single Hellion in TvT, if you think about it.
I'm thinking about it, man. I don't know about that. I think you can get more if you're lucky, or you're like trying to kite.
Only if you're super lucky. I mean, he was already lucky by the fact that Innovation moved out his entire army, and there was nothing at the natural to defend against the Hellion for a few extra seconds. So, in a TvT scenario, you will most likely not see it happen.
No. All right, well, looking at the upgrade situation here, we have Taeja going for the +1 attack. It's going to complete a little bit faster than his opponent's +1 armor, which he's going for before the +1 attack, strangely enough. But combat shields on the way for both players. The stim upgrade now starting for Taeja. And yes, both players are going to be going into that bio-mech composition. And the supply is still pretty even. Innovation slightly ahead here, though.
Innovation is going to have more Marines out because remember, he has the double reactor. But as the time goes on, Taeja is going to have a better army because Innovation, he delayed the stim to get more Marines out. So now he's looking to be a little more aggressive in this game.
I'm really trying to go for these heavy mid-game pushes here, but I don't think it's going to work against Taeja, man. He's got 3 tanks up right now. He is taking his 3rd, though, so that's going to be something difficult to deal with. And the first volleys are shot by Innovation. He's going to get 1 Viking for free, trying to bait these Marines over to this corner where the tanks can do their work.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And sieging up at the low ground right over there, getting a free shot.
Whoa, we got some SCVs with this army as well here, so Innovation really wants to make something happen. Taeja, where are his Marines, man? He's going to need to utilize that bunker.
I don't think he saw the SCVs behind the Marines when he scanned. And Innovation scans, sees that the units are out of position, so now he's going to go for it, but free shots on the siege tanks.
Uh-oh, 1 tank going down, and the Marine count, though, vastly superior for Taeja. The Marines moving in, completely desolating all of those tanks there. There are 2 reinforcement tanks here from Taeja, though, and it's going to be hard for Innovation to continue moving in here. It's going to just need some leapfrogging. Free tank shots going down. The SCVs are being pulled. Another siege tank, though, sieging up. And the Vikings on the low ground for Innovation are taking out. The SCV count is in the favor of Innovation, but only slightly.
Now both players still have the Marines, and look at this Taeja going for the drop on the siege tanks. Is that going to take him out? No, barely. Really barely. But the scan does finish it off.
This is looking still very dangerous for Taeja. He is barely holding on to this position here. He has the tanks right now, but his natural is under fire, and we're just going to see more and more units get rallied down here from Innovation. These 2 tanks here, they're just, they can't get killed off.
And the little problem for Innovation right now is that Taeja has better positioning, and the +1 is finishing pretty soon for him. So it's a +1/+1 versus only +1 armor of Innovation.
Oh, so smart by Innovation, bringing these SCVs to the front lines to repair those siege tanks. They're very low on health. 1 more shot, they'd go down. But now the Marines from Innovation, they're attacking that 3rd directly there, or the natural directly there. Is starting to get low on health. We're not going to be able to see a lot of mining from Taeja at his natural here. He's going to need to utilize those tanks and get him in the perfect position. Uh-oh, a little bit of misstep from Innovation, taking a lot of free shots. The Marines, they're going to move up, snipe a medevac and one of the tanks. The control by Taeja is absolutely phenomenal in this high-pressure situation, and he continuously has this 3rd base that is not being attacked right now. Another nice forward movement there, sniping off yet another tank of Innovation.
Remember last time Innovation had a nice position, but because of these small mistakes, that cost him game. So Taeja just forcing Innovation to make these small mistakes throughout the whole game. He's going to have much better economy, but only if he can defend against this one particular attack from Innovation.
He has to defend here. If he defends, I feel like Taeja will be able to take this game, but you know, his natural constantly under attack. The pressure is on him. Units being rallied out, getting attacked constantly as well.
The Marine favor does go to Innovation because he has 2 reactors compared to only 1 of Taeja. That's what he wanted to go for. Get lost of Marines out and trying to overpower his opponent. Didn't work out first time around, but constantly sieging up against his opponent.
This 1 lone Viking here going to get sniped off by those Marines quite fast there. And this natural just continues to be under fire here. I would love to see Taeja try to reposition some of his units here, but the problem is, you know, he's essentially backed into a corner at this point. It's going to be very hard for him to make something happen here. You can see the stress on Taeja's face in this scenario, but weirdly enough, that 3rd not spotted throughout this entire game.
Yeah, if the 3rd base is scouted, Innovation will send 2 units.
And Taeja moves in. He's going to try to snipe off one of those tanks there. He does get one, moves back with some of his Marine army, but
lost half of his Marine army because of that.
Yeah, he did. He's losing a lot of those Marines here. The Vikings, they're out in the open. One getting sniped down. The other one does move back in time. And the third base, or the natural, is still in a okay position at this point.
You know, he's constantly reinforcing with the units, and for now it's okay, but once you hit the 20-minute mark, he's not going to have enough economy to reinforce this army. So yes, Taeja, Innovation does have the nice positioning, but the time is ticking against him right now, especially with better upgrades for Taeja. And also, remember, Innovation does not have stim.
Looks like Taeja moving in here with his Marines, trying to snipe down a few of these units here. Loses a lot in this scenario, though. I don't think that went well for Taeja. He still is turning out a lot of tanks at this point. That third still unnoticed here, and I feel like, you know, Innovation, he's still ahead in supply here, but is he going to go ahead and get that third base?
He's going to need to wait for the... Oh, wait, there's a drop on top of the tanks.
Nice Marine drop by Innovation, but he's lost one of his tanks now. Innovation moving in here. I'm not sure if this is the best decision. SCVs are getting cold, and the Marines...
One lonely siege tank. That's all that's left for Taeja, and it gets taken out. Taeja has nothing on the ground.
He is losing everything right now. Innovation pushing forward. I think it looks like he's going to be able to take this game and win game 2. The drops on the tanks that were bare, I think that was essentially the breaking point for Taeja. He was so close to defending. If he could hold off the aggression, he would be able to win, but I know it's just looking worse and worse for him. That natural is going to go down.
And when the stim finishes, all Innovation has to do is push up with the stim, and his opponent doesn't have enough army to match the army count of Innovation.
And that floating natural going to get eventually killed off here by that Viking. Very low on health. Maybe it'll actually survive if SCV can repair it in time, but I think Taeja has other things to worry about, like that entire army at his doorstep right now, essentially.
Oh yeah, and Innovation getting into position once again. Taeja unsieged, which means that Innovation can get into perfect position.
Taeja, you know, he's got a good spread here, but things aren't looking good for him. GG is called. Innovation takes game 2 over Taeja. What a cool build. That was just constant aggression over aggression, and Innovation, you know, slowly pushing forward over the course of, you know, like 10 minutes essentially. That attack was just going on forever and ever.
Now remember, he only had the combat shield and he didn't have stim throughout the most of the game, and he still made it work. Why? Because he had one more reactive barracks than as compared to his Taeja, who went for the double tech lab. He just had a lot of Marines, better positioning, and Taeja, he should have waited a little bit longer before attacking with his Marines.
It's currently 0-2. STX Seoul in the lead over Evil Geniuses. Team Liquid. Innovation looking absolutely